Welcome to this video. What we're going to do now is show you how to spot fake Pokemon cards. Now, we're specifically going to go over 8 different ways how to spot the cards. And they're, with the new printing that we have of cards, it's changing. They're getting harder to identify. They're going to be a lot better at faking these cards. So let's kind of get right into that. So let's start off with the first one, and that's going to be the HP. So on Pokemon cards, you will have an HP. And if we look at this card specifically, it's got 170, and this is going to be the real card. I would say that this is more of a modern card. And again, it's going to be located at the top right. But if you do notice on the card, one has 170 and the other one has 17,000. So that's going to be wrong. So what you can do is go on Pokemon's website, or if you have the card, you can compare them side by side. So you're going to notice the number is either high, typically it's going to be higher, and then you're going to have just a difference compared to the original. So here we have a real one versus a fake card. So that's going to be the first one. You want to make sure that there's no spelling mistakes in the HP. So number 2 is going to be the holos of the cards. Now, before even getting into this, a lot of new cards are very holo. There are gold cards now. There are secret rare cards, meaning they're silver, shiny. But there's a different look to them, and we're going to go over a little bit on how you can kind of identify the differences compared to, modern cards, or especially the older cards. Now, if we look here at a real card, same card, it's going to be the Kyogre card. This is going to be an EX. And I can already notice a few different things. As you can see, the HP is different. If you look at the EX as well, you're going to notice the colors. So not only is it the holo, but the colors. The EX is washed here. And if you look at the colors too, the real one is cleaner. The colors are more accurate. So similar to like video production, when you're using better lights, you're going to have better color accuracy from those LED lights. Same thing with printing. Cards that are fake, it's going to be difficult for them to match the colors. So you want to pay attention to that. If a card looks this washed and not very good, it could be a sign that you have a fake card. And again, it's getting more difficult to identify these cards. In fact, I don't have any. That's why we're using this as a method to show you. So again, faded and washed, it's kind of an idea for you. Number 3 is going to be the text is bold. So that's going to be for the real card. So if we click here, we have a real card on the right, and then we have a fake on the left. So if we look here where it says basic, you're going to see that compared to the real one is just looks cleaner. The text is nice, it's bold, it's stronger. Even if you look at the HP, this isn't the easiest way to look at the cards, but even the HP and where it says, this is like a Jigglypuff kind of knockoff card. But if you look at where it says Igglybuff here, this is just stronger. It's printed better, it's cleaner, it looks better. And also the letters are very spaced out here. So it's going to be subtle as cards get better and the fakes look more real, but there are little signs, and one of them can be that the card is very bold. So number 4, trimmed. That's going to be the card size. So as you can see, again, very subtle. If we were to draw a line here, you could tell that this card is just a little bit shorter. So if we go to our other angle here on the monitor, you can see that this card is just trimmed. So cards that are fake, sometimes they won't be the same size of the card. So what you can do is you can compare the cards next to each other. So I made a little example for you here. And if we look at the original, this is just without contrast. A trimmed card is going to fit inside the card. So you can take the card and then you could have an original card to compare it against, and you could see if the card fits inside. That will give you a reason as to maybe it's trimmed. So obviously this card is trimmed, and then you could just tell that an original card is going to be a little bit bigger typically. Now, a fake card could also be bigger, so keep in mind of that as well. All right, so blue on the back of the card. So if we look at the differences here, Pokemon has a nice strong blue. When you have Pokemon cards, by the way, old school Pokemon from the 1999 cards are going to be, they have the same back as the new cards, unless it's Japanese or whatnot, a different country. However, the backs are the same. I have new cards and they are the same. I believe these are fakes from the older cards, but you can tell they're just different. Purple. It's more obvious on these cards. However, they're going to be more difficult to identify with newer cards. And there are other ways which we'll talk about as well. But again, if we look at the original here, the blue is just very blue. It's more accurate again. Whereas the fake, it's kind of purple. So you want to pay attention to that. Number 6, the spot near the Pokeball. When it comes to Charizard specifically, in person, this is the best way that I can identify Charizards, if they're fake or not. And it's very subtle. Again, you want to, I'm going to go over a slide at the end to help you with, how to identify fake cards with a bit of help as well. But when it comes down to it, there's a little spot right here, and we'll have a different image for you as well. But just looking at it this way, you can't tell. You're not going to be able to know, especially if you don't have the card up close. Just by looking at it from the back, it's going to be hard to tell which one is real and fake. So now as we zoom in, it's a little more obvious. And I don't know if you can spot the difference, but it's going to be near the Pokeball. And if we look over here, right here, there's a little bit of darkness. There's a little more range from colors here. This is just a wash of one color. Here we have like little dots almost, these black little dots here. And again, right here you can see it. Right here you can see a little bit of detail. It's dark. Whereas here it's all just one color. So you could argue it's just the quality of the back of the card. That's one way you can identify cards. I've actually done that with the Charizard where somebody had a fake. It actually looked pretty good, but I was able to look at the back and be like, you know what, this isn't like the original. So that's going to be one way you can identify these cards. Again, just kind of one wash of a color, a little bit lighter here and darker, but this one just has these little dark spots, and that's going to be a way you can tell. So next one is going to be, it feels like plastic. Then you also have the corners, which I added in there as well. Very obvious when we look at these cards. This is I don't know if whether or not this is a real card or not. I believe this is a real one. But when you go to feel the card, it's going to feel off. It's not going to feel right. The way the card bends is not going to feel right. It's going to feel just kind of plasticky. It's going to feel like plastic. So some modern cards, I've had them in the past, but again, I don't have any fake cards now because I don't want to deal with them. I don't sell them. I don't want to buy fake cards. I don't like them. I don't want people selling them to me. I don't want to sell them. But again, it kind of slides off your fingers a little bit different. You may know just by the touch of the card. When you bend a card, and you're not going to hurt a card just by giving it a bit of a bend. Obviously, don't fold the card, but you're going to notice a difference. Cards have layers to them, and we'll go over that in one of our slides as well. But if we look at this one as well, look at the corners here. And also this card, because I own one, it doesn't have this kind of sparkly stuff all over the card. It's just holo inside the frame. So that's another little give there. But also the corners. Pokemon cards, they have a rounded corner, whereas this one is just a square corner. So if you see that, it's probably not a real card. And then number 8 here, light shines through the card. That's going to be the biggest tell that it's a fake card, especially with the older ones. Pokemon cards have layers of them. With the old ones, the reason we have a ripped card here is because here we have a fake card. And if we zoom in here, here we have a fake card. And whereas this is a real card, this is a promo card, it has a middle layer here. So that's where you see a bit of that darkness there. So again, you could use your phone's flashlight. So if you take a Pokemon card, so just by using the light on your phone, the little flashlight, I cannot see through this card. So that's going to be a great sign. And obviously this card too, it's a modern card, but again, when it comes to the plastic that I was telling you about, this feels more like it was printed properly. And this is not an older card, it's a newer card. But anyways, that's kind of one way to spot the differences between your cards as well. So you could also rip the card, which you don't want to do because you're going to damage the card if it's real. Then you also have by the side. So by looking at the side of the card, you could also tell as well. So it's going to be hard to do that by the eye, but with the magnifying glass, you should be able to do that as well. So what can you do? How do you avoid fake cards, buying the fake cards? Well, you can buy a card in the store. That's going to help you a lot. There, typically, the owner will be a professional. For example, where we're at, we have Frank with FNC House of Cards. He's got a cool card shop. I consult with him if I'm not sure. If it's a cheap card, maybe you want to gamble on it. When I'm buying a card that's worth, say, over $300, maybe $500, $1,000, I always buy a graded card. So that's going to be a PSA graded card. So not only does PSA grade the card, it gives it a value on a scale of 1 to 10, the condition of the card. However, they are also going to authenticate the card. They will measure the card. They will make sure it's real. So that's one way that can help you as well. The best way is to consult a friend. Ask. You want to ask your friends, take photos. You can share it via social media. We have a group, Red Cape Sports. Take a photo. Be like, hey, is this real? Have a phone call. Side by side with real cards. Take a card that you know is real from a real pack, and then compare the two. So if you think that, for example, this card is fake, then you can compare it. Look at the backs. That's going to help you out a lot. And then slow down and be patient. With anything when it comes to cards, you want to make sure that you take your time. Don't rush into something. Seek help. That's going to help you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You don't want to have fake cards. The other thing to remember is that even if your card is graded, we're coming to the point where, even grading companies have said that they cannot spot fake slabs as well. So PSA is probably your best bet, especially if it has a modern case. They have different forms of authentication. You can scan the card with your phone and they have a pop report, so a population report. And that's going to help you out a lot as well because you can tell that they graded the card. There are fakes out there. There are fake slabs of cards. So you want to be aware of that as well. So I hope you enjoyed this and just be on the lookout for fake cards. Take your time, slow down. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to dive deep into Pokemon collecting and investing, this course is awesome. You could wait for it to go on sale. It's $10 to $15 Canadian. It's one great way to help support this channel. We spent hours and hours making free YouTube content for you, and we're gonna have more in the future, of course. It's probably the best way you can help support us. Don't forget, you can like, comment, and subscribe in this YouTube video, and also join our Facebook group. There we have tons of collectors and investors who love talking Pokemon, NHL, sports cards, anything trading cards or sports related or Pokemon really. Again, we will see you in the next episode.